Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media used is found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hey everyone! So, I told you I'd be back, and I'm back. Oh, that video went down like a storm. People are really agitated about this whole Joe Rogan thing and Meghan and Harry chiming in on it. And it seems that an awful lot of you do agree with me when it comes to Harry staying stumm when it comes to anything to do with Americans, and especially don't mess with their Joe Rogan. I mean, this is quite serious. So, exciting news. We have a joint royal tour. Yes, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are going to do a tour to the Caribbean. Now, I know quite a few people are like, oh, they get a nice holiday, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I love it. I love them going on royal tours. I love looking at all of the photographs. I love learning about all the different charities and initiatives that are all around the world. They are actually going to Belize, one of the places, Belize. Prince William has been there. He did some of his training with the Welsh Guards there. The last time Belize was visited by a royal, Prince Harry, it's not the most flattering of pictures. I don't think this girl, she doesn't look like she's smiling at him. I think she is unimpressed. And all I have to say is, I'm not surprised. That's pretty much the attitude of most of us these days. In more exciting news, the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla Parker-Bowles, she has been made a patron of the National Theatre. Now, this was a position that was briefly held by Meghan, who used it twice in the 18 months that she worked for a photo shoot. In fact, she got right up Camilla's nose because the second one that she did, where she did this photo shoot, look at her trying to not look at the camera, make it look candid. We know what you're doing. And Camilla had been doing this big domestic violence speech, working with the charity and stuff, and this was her big thing. Meghan released the pictures on the day the Duchess of Cornwall, literally at the same time. So it was reported that they really weren't happy. And again, this was playing up with the whole thing that they deliberately clashed their diary to try and take attention away from the other royals. But back to the National Theatre and Camilla. Camilla is an absolute theatre lover. She has given speeches before, I think it was the Olivier Awards. And she's just a keen theatre goer herself. I'm massively into the theatre. I love going to see anything from comedy to, I love opera. Oh, Madame Butterfly is my favourite. Trying to convince the husband at the moment to spend more time there because one of the industries I love the most has really had its arse handed to it, let's be honest. So I'm just seeing it as an excuse for me and my husband. Do you want to go to the theatre? Stay a night in a hotel? We're doing our bit for the community. Now, with Camilla being given this particular patronage, I struggle to say that, Prince Edward has been into theatre. He's actually acted himself. He really wanted to not be a prince and be an actor. And some people have said it's kind of sad that he wasn't given this position. How do we know that he doesn't actually want to take an elevated role? We've seen Sophie do a lot of stuff. Prince Edward comes across as really sweet and really shy to me. I mean, he could be quite happy just wanting to sit in the wings and support his wife as she takes on a senior role. So when it comes to stories like that, you're like, is that the media just trying to stir it up? So I'd love your thoughts on that one. Do you think it should have gone to Edward? Are you happy that it's gone to Camilla? Do you actually think that Prince Edward is being overlooked just because Charles is gonna cut him off? Let's hope, as I said, Charles doesn't cut off Sophie as well. I suppose it's one of those things because like we saw with some of the stories that have come out about William and Catherine, even Harry and Meghan, not all of them were true, and some of them the media do like to sell a paper or two, so they could have just been stirring that little pot. Now, speaking of stirring, there's been quite a few stories that have come out and you don't know, is it Harry's PR stirring the pot? Is it the media playing games? What part of this is true? Now, this is that Charles reportedly has asked Harry and Meghan to stay with him when they come over to visit for the Jubilee, if they come. There's been quite a few media leaks that Charles and Harry speak together on FaceTime all the time, that, you know, their relationship is thawing, Harry's making real efforts. And I mean, they did say that Harry and Meghan phoned the Queen on FaceTime and she saw baby Lily and was told and asked about her name, but senior royal sources said that was not the truth. And then we had the story that Meghan had a really great FaceTime chat with Catherine. Sorry, after watching Oprah, I don't think so somehow. So one who's planting those stories 2. Now, this is one where it's really beginning to boggle my brain. So all is not well in their big billion-dollar empire of matching the royal family. They're selling the house and there's so many things that are going on. What if the rumours are true, that they are trying to worm their way back in? The thought that Harry and Meghan would think that they could worm their way back in, that doesn't surprise me. The fact that William, Charles, Camilla, Princess Anne would actually let them, now that would actually shock me. Now, what do I think about this? Well, my personal feelings are, and I know I'm going to be cynical here, is Prince Harry needs content for his book that he's releasing. They also need content for Netflix, and the fact that, you know, baby Lily has not been christened in the UK with the Queen. I mean, I thought babies were meant to be christened when they're really young, but who knows what that couple are up to with that child. But they need to keep their connections up with the royal family, to keep interest in them alive. And the fact that the links and the association and trying to, because they are still trying to sell themselves as being royals. So maybe this is definitely why they're coming over. It's got nothing to do with the Queen and celebrating her life, and it's got everything to do with basically reaffirming that connection. The Entertainment Times also put out a story that Prince William was actually involved in the decision making of who to invite to the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and it reported from Women's Day, very reliable source, but it was reported that William was in charge of the invites, and he is the one that did not invite Meghan Markle. He did so because he knows the drama that it will cause, the attention stealing, the acts that she will get up to. And the fact is, it is all about the Queen and her 70 years service to the country. So, I mean, there's truth. It's a believable story, but would that have been leaked to the media, or are they trying to make Prince William out to be a villain? So with that story, they're saying, you know, William's definitely behind it. Now, William doesn't put up with nonsense. We've seen this. He kicked them out of the Royal Foundation. He kept them away from staff. He is actually supporting people behind their stories of the bullying allegations against not just Meghan, but Harry as well, when they worked at the palace with them. So to me, it is believable that Prince William would be the one to turn and say, no, not happening. However, Charles from this story is getting a lot of flack because people are saying he's weak, he's a fool. But you've got to remember, it's his son. Now, us as members of the public have turned against them for a variety of reasons, but this is Charles's child. Parents will forgive their children for a multitude of sins. It's just the natural order of things. But is Charles actually just being weak, or is he actually being very clever here? Now, if you think about it like this, Charles is the future king. Charles has 24/7 protection by Metropolitan Scotland Yard, the Royal Protection Officers, what Harry wants to pay for himself. Met Police, as I've said many times, are not for hire. By Harry coming over and staying with Charles, he'll be protected under Charles's blanket, which means no extra cost to the Metropolitan Police. If Harry deems this not good enough, it shows one of two things. It's got nothing to do with him actually wanting to come over and make amends with his family. It's got nothing to do with actually celebrating the Queen's Jubilee, and it's for completely selfish purposes. So all Harry really needs to do to get that free security is to make sure that he's on engagements with either his brother or his father. Now, Prince William may not actually want to hang around with him, and who can blame him? But with Charles actually throwing this out there, on top of that, he's also said that when Harry is maybe going to the Invictus Games, or if there's other little charities, you know, Harry likes to visit, especially when his reputation's in freefall. Charles has actually said that he'll pay for the private security. Now, this is not the Metropolitan Police, but these are ex-retired Metropolitan Police. These are the people that Charles used to pay for to protect Camilla before she became his wife. So if they are good enough for Camilla and other members of the royal family, why would they not possibly be good enough for Harry? So I think with Charles actually saying this and it actually being released to the media, it's actually a game of chess, because Harry is now going to have no excuses for not coming. And many people have thought that he actually started up this outrageous court case just so he could literally have an excuse for not coming. Or if Meghan's not been invited, they've got the perfect excuse for Meghan to turn around and say she's not going to come. Now, I don't think even if that story is false, Meghan is going to step foot in this country, especially with those children. However, there is another big theory that's out there, all these theories from people, and that is Harry really does mean the court case. He really does want this decision overturned by the Home Office, who so far are not backing down, and the Queen is not going to help him. The reason being is he and Meghan will then get their internationally protected person. You remember they demanded that in their Megxit talks in the beginning. They wanted to be internationally protected. This means any country they go to, any holiday they decide to go on, any fake royal tours like we saw in New York, the country that they are visiting will have a responsibility to provide security services, which will be in the form of armed police to protect them for free. Now, this, I do believe, is something that the couple would do. Now, obviously, Harry has had his brain twisted. There's a twisted up noodle in there. And, you know, maybe he truly does believe that they are going to be in so much more danger than everyone else. But I think it's got something more to do with the status, how it looks to rich and famous people. Look at them in New York. They were walking around with police officers, with private security. They had men in black around them. They had men and women walking around with bloody great big weapons, you know, ready to shoot to kill. And it was like that they were the president and the first lady. So I can't help but think that Meghan is twisting that boy's noodle a little bit more to say, I'm so scared, because she wants it. Because with new money, yes, I have been watching The Gilded Age. Oh, it's brilliant. For those of you who have not seen it yet, it's only one episode in though, so I can't make judgments too quickly. But it's that whole thing of, it's like Meghan doesn't tailor her outfits. She just buys the most expensive outfits. She'll wear rings on every finger, but lots of gold ones. At one point, you know, you've seen her engagements and she looks like she should have a crystal ball and some hoops and a turban on, you know, predicting people's futures. But it's the fact that it costs money, it's designer, it's couture. And I think that they are unfortunately trying to use security services to do the same. Look at us. And that is not what security services, no matter the country that they're visiting, should ever be used for. I obviously hope that nothing ever happens to Harry and Meghan, despite what people say about me. I don't hate them. Obviously, I would never want anything to happen to him or to any members of the royal family or members of the public. But Harry is the one on Oprah with Meghan that made up all of those bloody allegations. And that's the reason why the royal family had to increase their security. They have more death threats and Sussex Squad fan base and vile things said about them since Oprah. So Harry created that entire shitstorm. And then he's like, well, I definitely will be in danger. I want the extra security. And you're just like, oh, you're the reason why they had to up it. So I'm throwing it to you now at the end of this video. Do you think that Harry and Meghan are doing it because they want their internationally protected person status back? Do you think they are doing it because they get out of not actually coming and get to play victims, don't they? Mean old Home Office, mean old Queen. Do you think that Charles is being weak? Or do you think that he has actually, as I said, done a very clever chess move? Because if they don't come and Charles has offered to pay for security and protect him and his family by using his own royal protection officers, they don't have excuses not to come, do they? So it's going to be very interesting to see whether we are actually going to see them or we're not going to see them. I think Harry actually needs to come over here for visa purposes. So we'll probably see Harry at some point. But I don't know. I just really can't see Meghan stepping foot in this country. But who knows? I've been wrong before. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. And just remember to like and subscribe. And I will be back with you very soon. Take care for now.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.